Isotopes. What are isotopes? Atoms of the same element always have the same number of protons. That part never changes. If it changes, it is no longer that element. But neutrons can change, and this is exactly where isotopes come in. Isotopes are atoms of the same element that have the same number of protons, different numbers of neutrons. Because of this, atomic number stays the same. Mass number changes. Example of isotopes. Carbon is a classic example. Carbon-12 has 6 protons and 6 neutrons. Carbon-13 has 6 protons and 7 neutrons. Same element, different mass. Key idea to remember. Neutrons only change the mass, not the type of element. Relative atomic mass. Now here is where things get slightly annoying but important. Most elements are not made of just one isotope. They are a mixture of isotopes. So instead of one mass, we use an average called relative atomic mass. This is
a weighted average of all isotopes based on how common they are. Formula explained simply. Relative atomic mass equals sum of abundance multiplied by mass number divided by total abundance. If percentages are used, total abundance is usually 100. Example 1. Copper has 2 isotopes. 63 with abundance 69.2. 65 with abundance 30.8. Calculation. 69.263 plus 30.865, then divide by 100. Answer becomes about 63.6. Example 2. Magnesium isotopes. 24 with 79. 25 with 10. 26 with 11. Calculation. 79, 24, plus 10, 25, plus 11, 26. Divide by 100. Answer is about 24.3.
Tips for learning. If numbers are percentages, total is always 100. Relative atomic mass is usually not a whole number. Periodic table values are averages, not exact masses. Questions. What are isotopes? Atoms of the same element with the same number of protons but different numbers of neutrons. What is relative atomic mass? The average mass of an element's isotopes based on their abundances. Question. Which one is an isotope of chlorine with atomic number 17? Any atom with 17 protons but a different mass number. Question. Why is copper's relative atomic mass not a whole number? Because it is an average of different isotopes with different masses and abundances. Lithium has 92.5% lithium-7 and 7.5% Li6. Calculate the relative atomic mass. 92.57 plus 7.56 divided by 100 equals 6.9. Boron has 19.9% B10 and the rest B11. Calculate relative atomic mass. 19.910 plus 80.11 divided by 100 equals about 10.8. Compounds. What is a compound? If you mix atoms without bonding, that is just a mixture. If atoms are chemically bonded together, that is a compound.
Important idea. Fixed proportions means always the same ratio. You cannot randomly change the numbers. How compounds form. Ionic bonding happens between metals and nonmetals. Metals lose electrons and become positive. Nonmetals gain electrons and become negative. Opposite charges attract strongly.
Examples: sodium chloride, magnesium oxide. Covalent bonding happens between non-metals. Atoms share electrons. Forms molecules.
Examples: water,
Carbon monoxide.
formulas. Compounds are written using formulas. Example: CO2 means 1 carbon atom and 2 oxygen atoms. H2SO4 means 2 hydrogen, 1 sulfur, 4 oxygen. If brackets appear, CaO2 means 1 calcium, 2 oxygen, 2 hydrogen. Key idea. To break a compound into elements, you need a chemical reaction.
You cannot just separate it physically. Tips for learning. Compound equals bonded atoms. Mixture equals not bonded. Always check ratios in formulas. Questions. Question: what is a compound? A substance made from 2 or more elements chemically bonded in fixed proportions. Question: what type of bonding happens between metals and non-metals? Ionic bonding. Question: what type of bonding happens between non-metals? Covalent bonding. Question: what does CO2 mean? 1 carbon atom and 2 oxygen atoms. 5. Chemical equations. What happens in a chemical reaction? Atoms do not disappear. They rearrange. Bonds break. New bonds form. New substances are made. Key words. Reactants are what you start with. Word equations. Example: magnesium plus oxygen, magnesium oxide. Symbol equations. Use symbols and formulae. Example: 2 megagrams plus O2, 2 MgO. Why balancing matters? You must have the same number of atoms on both sides. If not, you are basically breaking the laws of physics. Another example: 2Na plus Cl2 2 sodium chloride. Tips for learning. Left side is reactants. Right side is products. Balance atoms, not compounds. Questions. Question. What are reactants? Substances that take part in a reaction at the start. Question. What are products? Substances formed after a reaction. Question. Why must equations be balanced? Because atoms are not created or destroyed, so numbers must match on both sides. Question. Write the word equation for sodium reacting with chlorine. Sodium plus chlorine, sodium chloride. Question. Write the balanced symbol equation. 2Na plus Cl2, 2 sodium chloride.